Hello everyone, welcome back to Cancer Tamer. I'm your host, Debra Santulli-Barone. The founder is Dr. Charlie Ferrer. And today I have two really great guests. They come from JCC in Staten Island and they run a Sunrise Day Camp program. And here is David Lutzker and Allison Cohen. Thank you so much for coming.
Thank you for having us.
Yes, it's great. So tell me, how did it all start, this camp? I'm dying to know.
So, cancer touches everyone these days, and more than ever, children are being affected by it. So we noticed that there was a need in the Staten Island and surrounding areas where they needed a social outlet and a place where they could just really enjoy being a kid again. So we have the Lucille and Jay Chasnoff Sunrise Day Camp, where we are a free full summer day camp, and children with cancer and their siblings attend, ages 3.5 to 16, and we provide that typical day camp experience.
So it's during the year, not just summer camp, or what is it exactly?
So we are a 6.5-week program located at Staten Island Academy. We are during the summer season, but we also have year-round events. So we will do reunion events where our kids get to see, their friends. They get to see their counselors who they have developed such a bond with. But we always want to try to do year-round, programs where we get them to just really socialize because they miss out on that when they're in the hospital.
So where are the year-long programs? Where are they?
So on top of our reunions, we also have something called Sunrise on Wheels, where we have a coordinator go into the hospital and they bring a trunk filled with games, art projects, little things that keep the kids' minds off of their treatment and just, get to have some fun while they're in the clinics or inpatient at the hospital.
Okay, I like that idea. And how long you've been doing this?
So I am now entering my 10th summer of Sunrise. I started as a counselor and I fell in love with our kids, their strength, their resilience, and it's hard not to be passionate when you see how much they enjoy our program. So time has passed and they've just grown with our program, and now it's anything that we can do to give them this magical experience.
Right. Now, is it only based in Staten Island?
So there are multiple other camps throughout the United States. But we are the only one located inside of New York City. But we serve children from Staten Island, Brooklyn, Lower Manhattan, and Central New Jersey.
Oh, fantastic. And Allison, now how did you get involved?
So I actually got involved with Sunrise originally about 7 or 8 years ago as a volunteer. I heard about the camp and I said, where do I sign up? What can I do to help? And I started fundraising for the camp. And from there I ended up being hired by the JCC, and now I'm actually in charge of the fundraising for the camp, so it all came full circle.
Wow, that was amazing. Sometimes you see people, you have to volunteer sometimes to get the job. That's great. So what are your functions there?
So we do all sorts of fundraisers for the camp, everything from gala-style events. We just had a wonderful women's gala in February, and another afternoon-style fun gala day in early March. We've done bocce tournaments for the camp, but our biggest fundraiser is our Sunrise Walks, which this year will be on June 9th. That's where sort of all of the fundraising comes together. But we do, little things here and there. We'll go into a store and we'll ask them to put up, when you go to the register and you check out and you give an extra $1, then you get a card. We do things like that. We just had a hair salon do a Kids Cut Day, and they donated $4,000 from that, so that was incredible.
Wow, that's amazing.
Completely unexpected. And
yeah.
We're open to all sorts of different fundraisers, and as David said, all of the children and their siblings go for free, so it's incumbent upon us to raise those funds. So that's why we're working year-round, even when camp's not in season, to raise funds for the children.
Things are coming up. I know you said March 3rd. What's going on March 3rd?
So that's our Sunshine Sunday. It's a fun afternoon honoring community leaders. We're honoring Dr. Bill LaGrega and his wife Francesca. We're honoring Anthony Reinhardt and his family.
I know them personally. Yeah. Wow.
Yeah, really great people.
Yeah.
And the Bensonhurst Bay Ridge Kiwanis, who have been huge supporters of Sunrise. So that's going to be an exciting event.
And where's that at?
The Old Bermuda Inn.
Oh, okay, on March 3rd. And then on March 10th, what do you have going on?
We have a pickleball tournament. That's our second annual. Everybody loves pickleball. It's the new hot sport, and
Yeah.
we're actually sold out. So it's our second year doing it, and we doubled the amount of people, and we're hoping to
Jeez.
double the profits. So it's
That's
wonderful.
great. That's one thing this new sport came out. I wanted to do it, but I have a torn meniscus, so I'm not doing that anytime soon. And then you have, and then in June.
Yes, our
And
walk.
where's that? The
That's-
walk starts where?
The walk is going to be at Henry Kaufman Campgrounds on Manor Road. It's
Oh.
across from the JCC Manor Road building.
Oh, it's near Camp Pouch?
Yes, it's right adjacent to Camp
Oh,
Pouch.
okay.
And we're going to have not only a walk, but we're going to have a family fun day with a carnival for kids, bouncy houses, and all sorts of fun stuff. So if everyone could stay tuned, we're going to have more information about
Yeah,
that.
yeah, and I can always keep talking about it, through the times, through the year. I meant to say. Okay, so when you talk about going to the hospitals, do you go to the hospitals outside of Staten Island too, though?
So right now, yes, most of our hospitals are outside of Staten Island. We are currently also the closest one is at Maimonides Hospital,
Oh yeah,
which
I was born
at,
there.
yeah. Actually, we go in one day a week. Today we were there earlier,
Uh-huh.
and it's we go in for about 4 hours, and it's just spending time with the kids, and
Right.
we have received such positive comments from the hospital staff, the nurses, the doctors, where they really, that letting the kids enjoy their experience, or really have some fun,
Right.
makes their treatment a little bit easier. Gives them that energy.
Right.
And-
Just to laugh is
Yes.
good enough, and it's healthy.
Yeah, I
Let's
mean,
face it.
they say laughter's the best medicine. So
Yeah, I'm trying. I listen to comedy stations when I'm driving so I can have a laugh. But so Maimonides, any others right now?
So our Sunrise on Wheels programs are, again, they're all throughout the United States, but for New York City, we're in, all of the major hospitals, Memorial Sloan Kettering,
Oh.
NYU, you name it. We have a partnership with every hospital, really,
That's
almost in the tri-state
fantastic.
area that has a pediatric oncology unit.
Does Robert Woods in Jersey have a pediatric?
Yes.
I heard they're a good oncology.
So
hospital.
so we have kids from Robert Wood Johnson that
okay.
come to camp, and all of these hospitals are such big supporters for our program because they believe that the social aspect for these kids and also being able to physically run around and do things at camp. Play such a big part in their recovery.
Right.
So they're all referring kids over to us.
Oh. Now, from what I understand, Staten Island University Hospital is supposed to have a kids center there. I don't know if they started that or it's years to come or what.
So I believe that they're still, or they're finalizing,
okay.
construction to really.
Oh, all
open the
right. I
unit.
didn't know what they were up
But
to
they
at this
send
point.
us many
A lot of
campers.
kids.
Oh,
Yes.
good. Oh, I'm so glad to hear that.
Yeah, they have the philosophy that any child that's battling with pediatric cancer
Right.
should be a camper at Sunrise Day Camp.
Well, that's good. It's good when you have your own borough to, stand up for you and fight for you. So with your fundraising, do you have a background of fundraising, college or whatever?
No,
Oh.
I'm actually sort of new to the fundraising role. I come from a communications background,
Oh,
so
okay.
I was leading the JCC's communications efforts for the past
Oh.
4.5 years, and then about 6 months ago, I took on fundraising as well.
Oh, okay.
So I learned by doing.
Yeah. So now, do you go out into the hospitals or who goes there? You go there?
No. So we have a coordinator that's our Sunrise on Wheels coordinator who's
okay.
in the hospitals doing our Wheels program. But most of the time, our hospital partners, the social workers, the child life specialists, they're the ones that are referring the children over to camp.
Oh, okay. Let me see what else I want to ask. Have you ever gotten so attached to kids? It must be
Yeah.
hard, right?
I think it's why I've stayed for so
Yeah.
long. We are brought on these journeys with these families, and we build these relationships with the parents and the kids, and we see them when they're in active treatment. We see them when the kids go into remission, and
Right.
likewise, we're also there for the more difficult moments.
Yeah.
Whether a child goes and relapses or a child ultimately sadly passes away, we're there with these families throughout all of it. Once our kids are in our system, they can stay until they age out at 16 years old. So, we see them, we watch them grow from these little humans into, these young adults who are getting ready to tackle on the world.
Right, right. And a lot of them come back every year?
Yeah, so we serve just about 150 kids, and unfortunately, I always say unfortunately because it's pediatric cancer. We're always growing. We see a lot of new children that come in every year, a lot of returning faces, and a lot of times the parents are sending their kids back because there's nowhere else that the children could experience these relationships, make these friendships with kids who understand what they've been through, whether they're the child with cancer or they're the sibling. They both have their own individual experience related to pediatric cancer.
That's true. Now, is there a bus that picks them up, or do the parents drive them?
So, it all depends on parent preference, but with us having children from Staten Island, Brooklyn, Lower Manhattan, Central New Jersey, for probably about 97% of our kids, we have a bus that picks them up. Either at a home pickup or a centralized hub location, and we're busing them in, and we have our counselors on the bus too. So really, for our kids, the camp day starts the second they step foot on the bus, with our kids, our staff bringing the smile, the fun, the games, and and the excitement for camp. And when they step foot at Staten Island Academy, ready to tackle on the day, we just keep the fun going until they get off the bus at the end of the day.
That's great. And you have counselors, like teenagers work in there or whatever?
So,
how does that work exactly?
Yeah, so we have a lot of folks who want to be a part of Sunrise.
Right.
We have young adults who are in high school. We have college students. A lot of our supervisory team and leadership team are teachers, and this is what they want to do throughout their off school year. And
that's very commendable.
But a lot of times they want to be part of something that's bigger than themselves.
Right.
Giving back and
definitely.
when you see these children just smile, and laugh, you just know that you're doing something truly special.
Oh, definitely. Now, in the summer, are you there? Or
Yes,
I'm trying to understand exactly what you do.
I come to visit, and I have to say, no disrespect to the offices at the JCC, but Sunrise, when I go there, I'll bring my laptop and work from the back and come hang out with the kids and say I'm working. I just love being there. It honestly, it makes me so happy, and like to see the kids. There is no happier place. I know everyone says Disney is the happiest place on earth, but I think Sunrise is.
I don't like waiting online for 3 hours in the sun.
And the kids are just having the time of their life. A lot of times you can't necessarily tell who's the child with cancer and who's the sibling by looking at them. So they're all just kids. They're having fun, and you see them making friends, building relationships with counselors. It's such a heartwarming place, and I honestly love sneaking out of work together.
To give you a few hours off to do that. Do they give the kids lunch or breakfast or anything? How does that work?
So every day we have our parents send the kids with a packed lunch. But we give out ice cream or ices, and every day it's a little treat at the end of the day. So if we had that amazing day, it's kind of like the icing on top of the cake. But we also give out snacks too, and we have kids that are on steroids. So there's times that we give out extra food, or we'll make an extra lunch for our kids, because sometimes from their medications they're just so hungry. We want to do everything we can to support their medical needs, but also their social needs, and making sure that they're able to participate in every activity that we have.
Right. Now, how do you get the word out, let's say, the inner cities of New York? How do you get the word out? Everyone out there.
So it's really the hospitals that are our biggest advocates. The social workers, the child life specialists, they are talking to these families, and they see that all of these families really have a need for their kids to go out there and be at camp. A lot of times they're missing school. They're not able to hang out or go out on play dates. So coming to camp is really their only outlet. So we're able to build that safe environment for them, and clean environment where we minimize the risk of any potential infections or injuries, while letting them just be kids again.
With each child, if they're on a special diet or they can't be in the sun, are you aware of that? Is there some kind of questionnaire that they fill out, the parents?
Yeah, so our parents, they go through a lot of forms. They have application, a medical form. We want to make sure that we're knowing everything about their child before they step foot at camp.
Oh, okay.
And just because of the reason that you just mentioned, knowing if there's any additional needs that the child has, whether it be not being able to be in the sun, having a specialized diet. Although we're a camp for children with cancer and their siblings, some of these kids, whether they're the child with cancer or the siblings, sometimes they have additional needs as well.
Right.
Whether it be a developmental disability, a physical limitation. So we always make sure that we want to know, because if there is a special need, we might assign a counselor to be a one-on-one with them to make sure that that child has the adequate support as they're going for their day-to-day activities.
And we've had blind children, we've had children in wheelchairs, and we make accommodations for any sort of physical or developmental need that they may have. So everyone can
fantastic.
participate.
So on the March 3rd, that's at what place?
The Old Bermuda.
The Old Bermuda Inn. Okay. And then on March 10th, is it?
Yeah, March 10th is our pickleball tournament. That's at the South Shore JCC on Arthur Kill Road.
Oh, really?
Yeah, we have a bunch of pickleball courts there.
Oh, I didn't realize that. I thought it was at the Manor Road one.
Yeah, we outgrew the courts at Manor Road.
Oh,
We have
okay.
6 at the South Shore.
All right. Wow, I didn't realize that, because it always looks so small, so I had no idea. Is there any message that you'd like to put out there to help your Sunrise Day Camp and to get the word out more?
Yeah, I think it's, just having people know who we are. We are growing in Staten Island. A lot of folks know who we are, but there's so many people who haven't yet learned our mission. And it's having the support with, whether it's at the hospitals or local community, if you know a child that might need our services, referring them to us.
Right.
Really making sure that we're known out there, because all we want to do is help, support these kids, their families, and just doing anything we can.
I would just say, if anyone's interested in volunteering, whether that be through fundraising or coming to camp, donating, whatever they feel comfortable with. We're always looking for volunteers to help out, because we run the camp based on the hard work of our volunteers.
Right.
So we really appreciate the support from the community.
So like college interns that need some
Yeah,
kind of
absolutely.
internships or whatnot?
So volunteers, or somebody who wants a staff position, paid
Right.
position, we're still looking for people to come, support our kids and make sure they have a magical summer.
Have you reached out to any of the the colleges in Staten Island and whatever, to see if anyone was interested?
We have a great relationship with Wagner College, who their physician assistant program. So they send
nice.
all of their physician assistants to camp for the summer. They spend a week each in different rotations. So they're getting that experience working with kids, and especially our specialized population. But they're a great partner.
Oh, wow. Any other messages before we end right now? We'll just be there on June, what is it?
June 9th.
June 9th. Definitely sign up for it. It's very important, and it's such a great thing that you're doing. It's so commendable, and I thank the JCC to get involved in that, and I thank you both for coming on. I
Thank you for having
appreciate
us.
it. Yeah, and now we're going to do a break with a commercial and see you back in a few minutes.
It's important to get a flu shot each and every year, because flu viruses are constantly changing and immunity from the vaccine decreases over time. Flu vaccines are updated annually to work against that year's viruses. The best time to get your shot is in the fall, but getting it later can still help. Getting a flu shot lowers your risk of getting sick, and if you do happen to get flu, it's likely to be less severe.
I don't think that many kids in my son's school even do it.
He makes fun of his friend who vapes.
He would never try it.
She's into soccer.
She's on the honor roll.
She's just not the type.
No way.
No way.
No way.
No way, my kid would never vape.
Get your head out of the cloud. Today, nearly 8,000 kids will start vaping. Maybe even yours. Learn about the dangers at talkaboutvaping.org.
Hi, welcome back to Cancer Tamer. Thank you for joining us again. I'm Debra Santulli-Barone. I want to let you know that Northwell Health Walk, it's going to be on Sunday, May 19th. Registration, you have to go online for it. It ends quite soon, so please do that. The walk will be at the picnic area in Staten Island at the Father Capodanno Boulevard. And the medical center is for the Staten Island University Hospital, raising funds for the Florina Cancer Center. So please try to attend, or at least look on the website. Now, the Leukemia and Lymphoma Society, LLS.org, is having their annual Tri-State Blood Center Conference. It's free for survivors and their patients and family. And the conference will be held at the Marriott Marquis in Times Square on Saturday, March 9th from 9 to 3:30. And it will showcase blood cancer specialists throughout the day. You'll have a free breakfast there, and it will be a free lunch, and you'll get to meet all different kinds of doctors for all the different blood cancers that there are. And there's a question and answer with that. So again, you have to go online to register. Please register as soon as possible because it is coming up on the March 9th. So that's very important, and it's a breakfast. Also, Cancer Tamer partnered again with St. George Theater. And we're going, the Cancer Tamers and myself, to see the Simon and Garfunkel review of their life story and also of their music. That's on March 2nd, this Saturday coming up. And we hope to be able to obtain other tickets to see, because they have an array of shows going on. So you can always sign up through Cancer Tamer website, New York City events, New York events of Cancer Tamer. There's also a lot of plays going on in the Staten Island area. Little Victory Theater has Murder on the Orient Express coming up this weekend and next weekend. And then we have the Seaview Playhouse. They have Born Yesterday, and it's 2 weekends in a row, so check that out. Ghostlight Players Theater, that's in Richmond Town, is having Incident at Vichy, and that's an Arthur Miller play. So that's important to check out. That's on the March 21st. And you can get these tickets. They're senior citizen rates and student rates. So check that out. The Little Victory Theater also has they partnered with the West Shore Inn restaurant. And if you show your ticket stub or your ticket order, you can get a certain percentage off on your dinner. Staten Island Shakespearean Theater is having a really cool play by the writer Anton Chekhov. It's called The Cherry Orchard, and that's on starting on March 15th. That's going to be at the Empire Outlets, which is off of Bay Street, I believe, Richmond Terrace. So you need to check out these things because there's a lot to do out here. And the actors and actresses are phenomenal. The singing is great when they have musicals. And plays are ongoing. There's all different kinds of plays coming up. So I don't want you to forget about that. That's very important. So also, let it be known that, blood cancers or another kind of cancer I have chronic myeloid leukemia, besides have had breast cancer. So these agendas that come up that they talk about here, they have keynote presentations and speakers, and you learn a lot more. They talk about going to therapy they talk about the diet and what you can eat or exercise and what's the newest medications. There's always a lot of new medications coming out with all the blood cancers. It's amazing. I want to dedicate this show actually to a friend of mine, Michael, who's battling a blood cancer, and he's he's a strong guy. He keeps fighting it, and that's the thing to do. And I also want to let you know, and again we've talked about this, to advocate for others. It's very important. Besides advocating for yourself. Now Cigna Insurance, health insurance, they want to stop in-network insurance with Sloan Kettering. Now, if they're allowed to do that, then I worry about other hospitals, that they're going to say, well, we don't want to be in network with the next hospital and the next one. Well, I've been to Sloan. I have friends that have been to Sloan Kettering for their cancers. Actually, my friend Michael is at Sloan, and he has Cigna. I have Cigna. A lot of people have Cigna health insurance. We cannot allow them to do this. I called AARP 3 times. No one called me back. I've called the Borough Hall president in Staten Island. Nobody called me back. Not him directly, but people that deal with advocating for health. I even called the Staten Island Advance, and no one called me back. So it's important for you to step up, make the calls, complain, call Cigna, call Sloan Kettering like I did, and complain about that. It's important. I also read at Weill Cornell that insurance, any kind of insurance, doesn't want to cover the sonograms, breast sonograms, unless you have breast cancer. Well, it's a known fact that they found my breast cancer with a sonogram, so I don't want to hear about that, so I'm going to be fighting about that too. So these are things you just can't sit back. This is your health, this is your life, maybe your family's health, so it's important. I'm thinking of doing genetic testing, but I really have to check out it extensively because health insurance can't kick you off with your genetic testing results, but your life insurance, I heard, could kick you off of the life insurance, and that's important. So I'm not doing anything till I know more, but I think it's important. I just had one genetic test that I didn't know was a genetic test at my hematology doctor, because they want to know why I had gotten a mini stroke 2 years ago. I find out it's not covered. Isn't that nice to know? So I'm fighting with them too, Medicare and Cigna. So these are things you have to think about to fight for. But I thank you so much for joining in. And please stay tuned again. You can watch me and Cancer Tamer Thursdays at 10 o'clock in the morning on Channel 35 Verizon or 79 with Spectrum and other times throughout the week. Thank you so much for joining in. Hope to see you again. This is Debra Santulli-Barone for Cancer Tamer. Thank you and have a nice day.